Can you say something that's more than one word? Can you count to 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, go.
I didn't expect the Japanese. Brandon, can you count to 5?
This is the guy that we're dealing with here, from 1 to 5.
1, 2, 3,
1,
4, 5. Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hear me? How's it
Yeah,
sound?
you're good. You're good. You're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll leave that in for the ladies.
I can't wait to hear this dude, man.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Why?
This dude's got stories, bro.
I got stories, dude.
Hey,
This
honestly,
dude's got stories.
this
I
right
can't wait to
here-
hear this dude and his
this-
story. He's always talking about his motherfucking stories. I'm
Dude,
just waiting.
this
I'm
right
just
here-
waiting. He's gonna be like, yeah, one time the cow jumped to the moon. It wasn't a cow, bro. It was my 8.6. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, it's my 8.6.
I'm excited. This is going to be an amazing podcast.
All right, so we have two very special guests today. One I really appreciate because he's from out of state. Could you say your name and what car you drive?
Yeah, so Brandon Register. You can find me on Instagram, Bermuda.86. And I drive a 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS hatchback and a 2019 Ford Transit Connect passenger wagon. That's my company car.
Oh, okay, cool. Who are you?
Yeah, tell us who you are.
Yeah, who are you?
I'm Jacob. Last name Gioffre. I think the only one on Facebook with that name. I inquired recently. I drive a 1986 Toyota Corolla GTS hatchback in original paint, Koki two-tone blue, non-sunroof.
What year's your car, Brandon?
So it's 85, yeah.
Okay,
And it's non-sunroof as well, dude.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
See?
non-sunroof.
Slick top boys, bro. We keep it slick.
Non-sunroof, non-AC, but I did have power steering factory.
Oh, non-AC, that's tough.
I had power steering and AC factory, and I
Non-AC.
might return to AC soon with manual steering.
Yeah.
So, Brandon,
Yeah.
last time you were here with Eric Teddy, we
Yeah.
didn't get to record, but I'm glad you're here to
Yeah.
record this time.
Shout out Eric. Shout out Eric. We
Yeah.
love Eric Teddy.
Very
Progression
nice meeting
D.
you, Eric.
We love
yeah, It was a
Eric.
good time.
Hot boy.
So, how long have you been into Corollas? When did you get your first Corolla?
Yeah, so I got a lot of great stories to tell you. But the first Corolla I owned in 2000, I want to say it was 2004, 2005. And yeah, so first Corolla, actually kind of how I got into Corollas. So actually the first couple things that made me get into Corollas, obviously a lot of video games. So my brother was 6 years older than me, so he played a lot of Gran Turismo.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first time playing Gran Turismo 1 on PlayStation, and I remember seeing all the Japanese cars that you couldn't get here. Like I remember seeing like the Accord Euro R. Matter of fact, the creator of Initial D, they had his 8.6 in Gran Turismo 1. Shuichi Shinjino with the black hood. Yeah, however you say it. This guy's got it. So that's why he's here. So they had his car, and then actually, the video game Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Oh,
Dude, that game was fire on Sega Dreamcast.
wow.
So I played a lot of that. First time that I feel like because Initial D always comes up. First time I'd ever heard of Initial D. Actually, the first time I ever watched it, I was mad because I had an EG6.
Oh.
And my buddy was like, "Hey, dude, like I got you." Like it was like my birthday or something like that, and I think it was like my 20th or 21st birthday. One of my friends was like, "Hey, man, I got you this DVD." Well, it was the duct tape death match where the EG6 loses. I was like, "What the hell is this? Like, why my buddy buy me this?" Like
Damn,
the
that's
Civic
throwing
loses.
shade. Like,
And I was like, okay, so this is interesting. So, but I grew up around Mustangs. My brother always had like Mustangs rear-wheel drive cars, and so I was just always more into rear-wheel drive cars.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
Where are you from, by the way? I think region's important.
yeah. So I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio,
Oh,
and I live in Durham, North Carolina now.
okay.
But yeah, man, spent a lot of time in Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio.
Ah,
So yeah, total opposite coast, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, 2004. I know you've had multiple Corollas. How many Corollas have you had?
So I'm on my fourth right
Okay.
now. So since like 2004, 2005, I've got a story for each one. So
We
I'll
got
tell
time.
the first one, and then I'm gonna let Jacob chime in.
We
and
got
chat a little
time.
bit.
I want to
Okay.
hear all four
Yeah.
of these.
So the first one, I found it on Auto Trader. This is like before Craigslist was like really even big.
So paper auto trader.
It was. I still found it online.
Penny
Oh, okay.
saver, bro.
Okay, so I was on. Okay, so a term they don't use much anymore is lurker. Okay, so have you heard that term, lurker? Like,
No, they still use
oh,
that.
they still use it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like a hardcore lurker on Club 4AG.
Oh, dude, lurk is big.
Okay.
Like 2019 culture, I would
It's
think
big?
that lurk is almost more commonly, ubiquitously
big?
known.
Okay.
It's definitely common vernacular. It's colloquially used.
Well, and I
commonly.
use it too to talk about Club 4AG because I didn't have an account yet, but like you could go on and like read all the posts and different stuff and like read the for sale ads, but like to actually click them and see the pictures, I think you had to be a member.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyways, so I found this first one, which, dude, I brought Polaroids here, so I know I showed some of these to you earlier.
Show camera, bro.
Okay, so this was my first 8.6. This was a 85. It was a Zenki. I bought it for $1,800. Okay,
yeah.
so I just,
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
1800?
yeah, it is
That
like
looks
go
pretty
for it.
clean.
Yeah.
What year was this?
It was I think it was 85.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No,
but
what year in the
2000,
in time?
2004,
Oh, yeah,
right?
it's like
Were you
2004,
purchasing?
2005.
2004.
Yeah.
Ooh, damn.
Okay, so the crazy story about this is and so I'll get to this picture right here. Which
Is that
we're about to
so?
talk
That's
about.
like
Okay.
The one where the
Post-cultural-
tree fell
So
on.
yeah, so okay, so I bought this car for $1,800, right? And I show up, and the guy goes,
Go ahead. I'll show the camera.
he goes, how are you gonna get this home? I was like, I mean, it's got a 4AG, like I'm gonna drive it,
it's got a 4AG,
like
bro.
I'm sending
You're
it,
ripping
right?
it, bro.
Okay, so the guy goes, well, it doesn't run really that well, and I guess you can just like you can try to drive it home, you know. So like the thing barely idles at all, and so I drove it like an hour. It was stalling at like anytime I stopped, it was stalling out, like running like total
Dog
shit. Yeah, dude, it ran terrible. So I got it home, parked it. At the time, I worked at a Honda dealership as like a
Ooh.
lot tech.
Ooh.
And so it stayed at the Honda dealership for like maybe a week, and then they were like, "Hey, this thing's like got to go," you know, like doesn't run. Okay, so took it to the house where I was living, and I was like, "I just need to sell this. I don't have any. I barely had enough money to like pay for the car, you know. So I don't have enough money to fix it." All right, so I put it on Auto Trader for $1,800, exactly what I bought it for. And I get a call from these guys, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, my son like wants to build like a drift car or whatever. We'd love this." I'm like, "All right, cool." A week later, I get a call from my aunt. She's like, "Hey, do you know a huge tree just fell on your car outside?" So I've got to call the owner, and the guy's like, "What, is it bad?" I'm like, "It looks like it's like on the A pillar, and it cracked the windshield." He's like, "All right, no problem." Dude shows up with his son, $1,800 in cash, and a chainsaw. Chainsaws this tree off my 8.6. And still bought it for what I was asking for. I couldn't believe it, dude.
How bad was the damage?
I mean, it was. I mean, so
the
here.
windshield's broke.
So it
Like,
broke the windshield, like, and I mean, you can see, like, that's not a small tree. Like, this tree is, it was massive. Like, it pulled power lines down.
You
with
can
it.
see the bow.
Yeah. So these
the
pictures right
camera.
here these are pictures of it in the wash bay when I worked at Honda in like 0405. So like.
Oh, the paint's so nice.
It was stripped, like the inside was
vibrant red.
inside was a little bit stripped, you know, so it didn't have its like full interior. But this was like my first like taste.
This is
if you
04,
will.
and like the seats ripping right there. Like, so it's really nice to see these Polaroids because you look at these cars today, and you look at the different levels of trim and the different wear that these trims will hold over environments. And
Yeah,
it's really interesting to see this car, which was in Ohio.
yeah,
All of its life.
Yeah.
Is this Ohio plate? OEM, like 80s Ohio. That's hot.
Yeah.
So I've heard in southern places where they have like monsoon weather,
Mhm.
dude, it just tears up the interior, the contraction and expansion
Yeah.
of the vinyl and different materials that they
Yeah.
used, whatever they would like. Bro, you leave your windows down there and there's like mold. Like, dude, these
Yeah.
cars are so easy to destroy. And
yeah,
it's interesting to see that, like, I mean, I guess we're blessed here in Cali. A lot of our cars are
Yeah.
still pretty clean, even if
For
we don't
sure.
do anything to them. I mean, my car, I found it in the junkyard, and uncracked dash, like interior is not ripped.
That's
like,
why people from out of state are taking our cars. This goes out to
Yeah.
you, Eric Teddy, man, taking all our California
Hey
cars.
man, Eric
I'm
Teddy
kidding,
might
I'm
be,
kidding.
might be slanging some cars to here too. So
I'm kidding, Eric.
true, man. It's true.
no, dude, you can't rat on him, man. At least someone's gonna buy it and drive it, put money into it, really fix it.
No,
up.
no. I definitely
Track
appreciate it
it.
because he just bought Swing Biz Danny's car, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
his YouTube, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
So he's doing good things. I think it was a good idea to build a dedicated track car because he's gonna cage it and like
Yeah.
he rolled his other car. So it's like, bro, it's good to have like a purpose built car because if your car's not safe, man, like I don't know how I'm still driving the hatch with like stock everything, like just a bucket seat, like I got new box Tom's harnesses, like I got all this stuff, but like bro, I'd be running it with the stock seatbelt and everything, and it's not an issue.
Yeah.
So Brandon, first
Unsafe.
Corolla, the tree fell on it. Second Corolla.
Okay, so second Corolla. I'll give you all the details I can. So again, Auto Trader, right? I owned a couple cars in between, like this first one, and then so I started looking for the second one. But I owned like a 240, S13 240. I had a 200 SX turbo. Dude, when you look at the back of those two, it looks kind of like an 8.6.
It does.
They're pretty rare.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it had like a CA 18 DT. Is that right?
I think that's about
I think
right.
that's
Yeah.
I don't know if that's GT here in America, brother.
Yeah, it was like,
Was it turbo?
yeah, it was turbo. It
I
was
don't know
factory
anything,
turbo,
but
man.
I'm saying, like,
Because he
stuff
didn't grow up in
reach-
California, he gets all the good stuff.
Oh, really?
all the
Got
right-hand drive,
got
all the-
48 cars,
No,
not
man.
the 50
Okay.
cars, like-
So second Corolla was a red right-hand drive 11, and so this is like probably mid 05 now at this point.
Okay.
Because my second one was 06, 6/17/06, at least according to that picture.
Okay.
Okay, so I fly all the way to Albany, New York.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, let me slow down the podcast for a second and tell you I used MapQuest on paper
Woo.
to get me home. Okay, MapQuest.
Where'd you print it out at?
Dude, I printed out at home, man.
So you had that, you came,
Yeah, so we
you
had
came
MapQuest.
prepared,
Okay.
you packed, you had your MapQuest ready.
Have MapQuest ready to get home,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so the guy was selling. I want to say he was asking like $10,000 for it.
Holy crap! In 2005.
Yeah, I mean, it was a right-hand drive 8.6, right?
This
Yeah.
was before the housing crisis.
Okay, there's one other thing that you'll be able to read between the lines when,
Yeah,
when I ask it.
Yeah.
And it refers to my second one too. But so I got in it and like everything was stripped. Like it had no windshield wipers, like no climate control. It was gone. It just had Defi gauges. Like somebody had like put holes in the dash, like on the passenger side, you know what I mean? And put like Defi gauges. And so honestly, man, I didn't know a lot. Like I knew that I loved Corollas, but I didn't know like all the ins and outs at that point.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't look back and tell you like what suspension it had on it or anything like that.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that I bought it and the guy was like, "Oh man, like I don't have the title on me. I'll send it to you." So like I drove this thing. I hit a bunch of toll booths and stuff like that, and like it was kind of annoying, the first time like buying a right-hand drive car and driving it all the way home from Albany. Okay, so I owned that car for like a month, and my buddy is his name's Ben. He's like, "Dude, let's take this thing out. Like, let's go to like a little meetup or whatever." So we go to this meet, and we're driving home, and this 240 has been following us for like probably 15, 20 minutes, like sketching us out a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're like, all right, dude, let's pull over. So we pull over into this like Wendy's. This 240 pulls up next to us, and this dude gets out. He's probably in his like mid-30s, maybe. He goes, "Where'd you get this car?" I'm like, "Oh, I flew to New York and drove it home." He goes, "I'll give you $10,000 for it right now." So obviously, I didn't pay $10,000 for it.
Paid like $200.
But I was paying my tuition in college, so I was like, all right, sold. Like, I'll sell it. Like, the money was right, and like the profit was good. So I flipped it pretty quick.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna ask this once, okay? So just think about this.
Yeah.
2005, right?
Was it a
What-
Corolla 11? Is that that silver one?
No, it was red.
It's
It-
not
it's-
in the
it's-
Polaroid.
That's what I'm
Polaroid.
saying. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
which one was
It's-
this?
there's
tell
a-
us,
so
tell us
there's-
what sold for 10 grand.
Okay, so there's a picture of it on my Instagram.
Okay. Okay.
So I can shout that out again at the end. But so I sold that for 10 grand. Think about this: 2005, even 2006. Subtract 25 years. Subtract 25 years off 2005. What's that tell you about the car?
Off of 2005, 1980s, right?
Yeah,
1980s.
yeah.
Not legal.
Oh.
25-year rule.
Yeah, so
So the first Corolla I owned, it must have been VIN swapped. I'm assuming, right? I mean, like I don't like that. Can't even. We'll let that motorcycle go by. So it wasn't until the second Corolla that I owned that I was like, huh, yeah, the title was like, Corolla GTS, right? And I never thought about it later, right?
Wow.
Because 25-year rule, it's like this thing got imported illegally, I'm assuming.
Someone
or
shoved it in a container.
Yeah, somebody shoved it in a container.
And
Yeah,
they got their car ready.
Yeah, so,
Hell yeah,
so
brother.
I'm sure that car's out there somewhere. So that's why I won't say too much about it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't know that at the time. Like to me, I was a 21-year-old. Like I was 21.
How are you
Like,
gonna know?
Yeah, like I didn't know. I was just like, oh, cool, you got a
Well,
title.
my bad.
Yeah, well,
I know that.
Yeah,
I'm 22,
I didn't
bro.
know that.
Age is not an excuse.
It's
for
different.
ignorance.
It's different in 2005 when you're printing out MapQuest.
yeah.
That's fine.
It's
bro.
different now when you have
Yeah.
a supercomputer in your pocket.
Yeah, dude, nobody was like really importing like cars at that point.
No.
I
Yeah.
mean, they were, but not. It was like the 25. A lot of the cool cars really are just now. They were coming out, but especially with the Corolla too. So yeah, so that was my second Corolla.
third.
All right, third. Okay, third one. Found it on a forum online. Car was in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Right-hand drive, Levin again. Okay. So this is 2006.
Okay.
Still, again, at this point, I don't know anything about a 25-year law, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one's probably the craziest story of all my Corolla stories, okay?
Every year, new Corolla, then 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Ballin'.
okay. So this one was, this story definitely takes the cake of all my Corolla stories. Okay, so the car's in Miami, Florida. It's silver, full, like, GT Apex. Like, this thing it's legit.
And it's right-hand drive.
Right-hand
also.
drive, yeah. Had the Digi Gauge cluster.
Nice.
It's pretty legit. So, okay, so I show up to Miami, Florida. I don't know, 22 years old maybe. I have $8,000 in cash in a book bag. Bad idea, flying to Miami. Anyways, so fly. Dude picks me up from the airport in a 240. It's like a S14, right? He's like, hey, I got some things I got to do. Got to meet up with a buddy. But let's just like chill for a while. We'll go get like food. I'm like, okay, cool. Right. So we're in his 240 and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna like run home really quick. It's so hot here. Like I'm gonna like take a shower or whatever. And he's like, you can just like chill. I was like, all right. So like before,
Sticky down there.
so like,
Florida.
dude, it's hot.
Yeah,
Like the
sticky,
humidity.
it's hot. I could have just
Okay.
imagined he's like he needs to shower, huh?
So man, so like I show
asking
up,
for
like
it.
I've got like a button-up shirt on, like untucked. That was like the thing in like the mid 2000s, I don't know,
Yeah.
right? Spiky hair or whatever. So I'm
Like
like
Guy
sweating,
Fieri.
dude. I'm like it's so hot. So we're like on our way to like his house, and he's like driving around in these like back like streets, and he's like screwing around, like ripping the e-brake, like trying to drift in the street basically. So dude, this dude is like horsing around, right? And he like fucking rips it too hard one time, and we smack a telephone pole on on my side of the car.
Oh my god.
So like I'll paint this picture again. So I just met this guy. I've known him for like, I don't know, maybe an hour, not even an hour.
I've known him for an hour.
I've got
man.
$8,000 in cash in my book bag, and this dude is like horsing around, like ripping through this neighborhood basically, and we smack a telephone pole that had been previously struck by lightning. So like half of it was like gone already, like the top half, right? So we smacked this telephone pole, and he's like, oh shit, like we need to get out of here. All these people start coming out of their homes.
Oh, this is big residential.
Dude, this is big residential, yeah.
Oh god.
So dude, he goes to take off, and at this point I'm like, I'm about to buy a car from this guy.
Yeah.
Like, luckily it's not this car, but
Yeah, right,
but
think of
oh
it.
my gosh. So like we smacked this telephone pole, and it like cracks it, dude. That's how hard we hit this pole on my side of the car. I'm like, I'm just glad I'm alive, And he's like, oh shit, we gotta go. So dude, he like puts the clutch in, puts it in first gear, and takes off, and it's like rubbing on something on the car. Like one of the fenders is like, bop, 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 bop.
Holy shit.
And dude, it's smoking. Just like the tires just like rubbing. He's like, well, like we're getting out of here. So like we drove like all the way to his house, He's like, yep, well, like here's my 8.6, and I'm like, shit, man, like,
Do that in the car,
dude,
yeah?
like at that point,
Driving this car like that.
like to me it was like there was no other way. Like I'm gonna buy this car, I'm driving it home.
Yeah.
Like I'm already here. Like what am I gonna do? Like,
It's too sketch. Can't
dude.
chill. Like, there's
So,
no chill.
okay, so we go to the B&B. I don't speak Spanish. They only spoke Spanish at this B&B in Miami, right? And okay, so it's '06, right? So again, go back 25 years. Right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. Car number 2. I don't know that. Right. It wasn't until like after I'd sold it that I had even learned like, about the 25-year rule.
Ah.
So, anyways, it was silver, but like the car was originally red, but like somebody painted it silver, which I hate because like you pop the hood on an 8.6 and it's like, oh man, it's like
The door
you know,
jams, bro.
door jams, yeah. The door jams actually they did, but like under the hood was still all red.
You pull the carpet back.
Yeah, dude, and I drove 18 hours home with MapQuest.
Holy
printed,
crap. Holy crap.
Savage.
Printed.
Shout out Brandon. Savage.
With the
Love
with the belt with the ding. You know, like you go over 60
chime,
the
dude.
speed
That thing
chime.
must have been so
Dude, for
annoying.
18 hours,
Speed
man.
limit in Japan's like 80 km/h
Yeah.
at its best.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like
It was crazy,
it's not even
man.
60 miles an hour.
Yeah, so that was Corolla number 3.
You
That's
just pull that thing out. It's too hard.
dude.
Right there under the glove
Yeah.
box on the left side.
So yeah, so I had that car for a little while.
Jacob, you gotta talk into the mic, man.
Yeah, sold it. But yeah, that was Corolla 3. Let's talk about Jacob for a second. Tell us
Before-
about yourself,
before-
Jacmob.
Wait, so Corolla,
Number
before
four.
we'll get
Corolla
to number
number
4,
Yeah.
but 4 is the one you currently have, right?
First one I currently
Okay, so yeah, let's get to
Yeah.
Jacob,
Let's talk
I-
about our boy
What's going
Jacob.
on, man?
we only live so far apart. I rarely get to see you, man.
Tell us your
Bro.
Instagram name.
My name is
Tell-
Jacmob86 for my personal. If you want to see me flossing,
you
and
wanna see me
if you want to see me just chilling, shipping out things, you can follow me at Shock the Mob.
That's right. At Shock the Mob.
At
So-
Shock the Mob.
I wanted to ask earlier. You just came back from Japan.
Yes, sir.
How was that?
It was
Why'd
ecstasy.
you go back in the first place?
So, my friend Chris wanted to get some cars. These cars are very special to us. They're Toyota Corollas.
Wait, he wanted to get some cars. You wanted to go there and buy a car?
Yeah.
Holy crap. Okay.
So Chris hits me up and he goes, "Hey, dude, I want to go over there and cop a car." And I was like, "All right, dude, you got a car?" I looked up.
Did he fly from Korea to Japan?
So Chris was in language school
Yeah.
in Korea.
Yeah.
And he's having a good time. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, bro, there's not going to be no Corollas in Korea." And he goes, it's cool. And he goes and he was like, "Hey, dude, there's no Corollas here." And I was like, "Yeah, bro." So he was like, "All right, I'm going to finish my stuff. We're going to go out to Japan." And I was like, "All right, cool. We can go out and kick it. Japan would be cool." And you know what? Found a good Corolla for him from another one of our mutual friends. And he said, "All right, dude, we'll go over there and check it out." And he goes, "But I really want this Corolla off of auction." And this car was for sale for a good minute, and I had been looking at it. And it was cool because Chris wants to learn how to drift, and he wants to learn how to like race properly and just become faster, and artist development, and just being a person, and just things that we would all love to do. And he said, "I want to do it in a right-hand drive Corolla as well as my other car." And you know what? That's his story. I'm going to let him tell it. Maybe he'll be on the podcast someday.
Yeah, he should. Chris has been here before. I've done
Yeah.
it once over on a car. So yeah, please come down again, Chris. We gotta share your story too.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
So
Yeah.
we'll do that for another day. But the reason for this trip was mostly to do the floor mat group buy with Expert Oz. That was pretty fun. We got a substantial amount of orders in a very short time. I was kind of surprised because I had like a roster of 20 or 30 people, and all of them were like, "Yes, we've been waiting." And I was like, "Cool." And then like a few other people came, and I was like, "Rad, man." You know, because you hit people back, and you don't know, man. Like everybody's got bills, everybody's got things to do, but everybody was like, "Yo, dude, like thank you very much. We've been waiting for our floor mats." So props to everyone that waited for the second group buy. Thanks for waiting. It was a good time. So aside from the floor mats, we wanted to get these cars, and the most substantial part about my service with my business partner in Japan, or Auto Japan, wearing the shirt. We wanted to get Chris this car, but the car went out of auction because it was a festival in Japan. I'm pretty sure it was Obon. And the seller wasn't going to re-upload the car while he wasn't working because it's a shop. And we were like, oh man. And I was like, dude, don't worry about it though. We can find this dude. And it turns out my business partner went to dinner with a few friends, and the night before we went to dinner, he goes, I have his mail address. And I was like, perfect, bro. Because I had asked him, I was like, hey dude, the car's out of auction. Do you think, we could finesse this still? Because when I've looked at cars, it's really interesting actually being in Japan and being a broker and just being there and being able to be like, yes, dude, like I will come down to such and such city and we'll work out a deal. Or, being able to almost like be just a normal person there, because there's a lot of glory and there's a lot of like glitter around Japan. And I don't think it's become lackluster, being there for so long. And it's not really been that long of a time, but like, I mean, it was a good portion of my life if you do the statistics. And it was really interesting to see that. I don't know if other brokers could do that. And like, it really made me realize like what was cool with the service that we provide. And I was like, wow, the fact that he went to dinner and they knew the shop that he was talking about that Chris was interested in and was able to get his number. And then they had called each other that night and had a phone. Well, not call each other. He'd called him that night and he talked about it, and he was able to secure the car in like an agreement. And I was like, wow, bro, like that's substantial. So it's different from just being like, yeah, dude, I go on Yahoo auctions and buy stuff. It's okay, dude, there's a long, profound community aspect to it, just like it is in Japan. And I don't think anybody else could have offered that or secured the car like they did for Chris. And right now we're talking about ferrying it, and I'm talking to a few different brokers, and it's very interesting to see this all come together because it was so spontaneous. We found this car, I booked the flight the week before, and went out to Tech Arts, and he wanted to do some questioning about just how long orders for various builds would take, and going out there and just being able to show someone or show like people that the industry is alive and there's a lot of people that support and do this respectfully, and it's more than just a commercial aspect. It's a real passion, and so many of the businesses were closed during that, and it was really nice to see that my business partner Yasu was like still working. That's work. That's like total like undercover, like, dude, that's so sick. That's big agent status work. Like, wow. And I was just astonished that, honestly, that we made that happen so fast, because what are you supposed to do? What would you do if an auction went out? If you're looking on eBay, you're a domestic individual. Here's how we're going to do this. You guys are domestic individuals. You guys can play along too, our listeners. You're a domestic individual and the auction goes out of service, and not out of service. Well, that's it. Yeah, it's out of service. You're not in business during the holiday. Everybody gets like, substantial holiday. I think it's Obon. I don't want to quote myself on that. We're being recorded, but it was 10 days off, and everybody that was working was off.
Right.
All of my friends were like, yeah, dude, like it's free. Like it was all really great timing, and it all came together spontaneously so well. And I'm just so surprised. Not that like the service like works so well. It's just, I don't plan anymore sometimes, you know what I mean? Like things just happen, and still gotta get the car home. It is, like I said, at Yasu's shop. It's doing good. Talking to 3 brokers, and we just have to decide on which method we're going to use to get it home strategically, because he wants to practice. He wants to do drifting, and life's so short that it's like, you got to do it now.
Talk about Arato, Japan.
So Arato, Japan, it's owned and run by Yasunari Okamoto. It's in Owagasaki, Japan, and it is a fabulous shop that is a one-man shop, and it's owned and run by an N1 86 racing champion. And there's not a lot of places that have the same level of pedigree, I would say, in like the community, and just as, I don't know, it's almost like it's a foreigner bond as well. It's very interesting.
So what services do they offer at Arato?
So it is one man offering many services to his old clients that he's been servicing in Amagasaki. It is mostly personal work. It is
So service work then, like repair work.
so the personal side of it is he does it for he has 9 Corollas.
Wow.
So that's why he has a shop. And when you're a racing driver out there, it's your place. You know what I mean? I respect you and your shop and your establishment, and that's how you do it in racing. You know, you need to have a place for it, and like a place for car storage or like a place for part storage. And it's very interesting to see that here in America because we have so much space. And I would say in Japan, things are designated. It's a very respectable craft to be able to service a car or do shock-in or do basically any type of racing advice. Or it's not open to the public though. That's what's different. As it's like he told me, he was like, I was like, so what do you do? Like what's the bread and butter? And he was like, honestly, I just service my community's cars. You know, all of his friends and all of the people in the area and his town that he's known for so long. And you know, everywhere we go out to eat he's like, yeah, I've been coming here for 30 years. And it's very, very, very fantastic to be able to go to those old places and see the old relationships and the old recipes and the old culture and the old language, and all in Osaka or, you know, wherever we're eating in. It's beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye to think of that man. You know, he's absolute God. He's just got the routine set up. I've learned so much from that man.
It's awesome.
The things that man can pull off, I would say, it's nothing short of magic.
So besides service work, does he? Because I know I heard you say like he helped you get the car. So does he do like import, export also?
That was because we were trying it. We said, hey, a good friend of ours wants a car, and he goes, okay, yeah, dude, let's do it. And I would say it's definitely situational because I tried to buy a car as well, and there were a lot of issues with that. And that's Expert Oz. I gotta text them back. But so
how are you gonna flex on my podcast today?
oh, sorry, man, it's lit right now. Look, it's all 8.6.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. Continue with your story, man. Continue.
So this car was really special because I love Chris. You know, awesome guy.
Yeah.
And everything lined up, like I said. He was like, hey, dude, let's just go. He was like, I want to do all of this. And I was like, yeah, like, I mean, if you're down, I don't have school yet. And right now, it's like a transition phase for Shock. We would like to do things like this more often. But right now, I would say I'm warehouse shopping. You know, I would like to get my own space. And I would like to definitely set shit up so that it's more commercial than personal. And right now, everything's mostly personal. Like my container was a personal shipment with a commercial shipment of the floor mounts. So I paid my taxes on that. You know, I brought it in because nobody has 54 sets of cars. Brought in 54 sets of 5 pieces to Cali. Like, bro, what you gonna do? Like, nobody has 54 Corollas. Not even Toyota has 54 Corollas. So I couldn't say, hey, dude, that's a personal shipment. So with my customs broker, we agree that a commercial shipment would be adequate for, you know, the taxes and just liability and just, bro, it's U.S. Customs. It's Homeland Security. I'm not gonna front. And you have to be legit about it. And that's kind of where we're going with it. Is would I start to bring in cars in the future? I would say if people had the interest, yes. If you want to come, and it's case by case. You know, I've shipped transmissions through Shock the Mob. I've shipped differentials. I've shipped, you know, now we're shipping a car. It's the core of it is logistics. And I love logistics because I look at these F1 teams. I look at these other racing outlets, and they're all very scientific with the logistics and with the planning of their team. And it's beautiful. It's fundamentally insane. And I want it to be at that level. You know, that's racing when you're moving. Because think about all of your equipment, all of your umbrellas, all your teams. Bro, you got to have them luxuries for your team. You got to take care of your people. And
the girls.
yes,
too.
dude, the ladies, bro. You got to have all the ladies. You got to have the men, dude. You got to have everybody happy, bro. Everybody's got to be having a good time. And, you know, racing is just, I feel like it's one of the best ways to spend your time. So I want to get on that level. And I think Shock is a good way to definitely facilitate racing because it's by people that race. It's an N1 champion that picked up this car. You know, these are people that know 86 in the industry better than anyone that says, I could say, probably listening to this podcast. I mean, even the people who are sitting making this podcast, like we will never be on par. We can try as hard as we can, but dude, these people, they worked at Toyota. These people have the OEM Japanese training. They are fluent in thought of the way this car was made. There are things that they just do out of necessity rather than want. It's just ingrained. So I would say that being able to learn from these people and being able to, it's like the phrase that I always use to quickly articulate this to people in America is, it'd be like going to Detroit to learn how to build a 55 Chevy. Of course you're going to learn. Yeah, that's how we put on the paint. Or, oh yeah, I did the fender in 54. Yeah, of course. Would you think anything different?
Yeah, they just know it.
Yeah.
Just know it.
It's live and learn. Do those. Oh yeah, we did this because the exit on the 67 highway or whatever. It's like, yeah, we get it, John.
Yeah.
Like, it's your environment. So
wait, so I have a question for you though. So I didn't really even meet you until my Corolla that I have now.
yeah.
And so I met Jacob through Instagram because someone had referred him to me, much like that probably happens with you a lot. So like, how did you, I kind of spoke earlier about, I guess, kind of how I got into Corollas, but what about for you?
Oh boy.
Let's hear it.
So I had seen a lot on YouTube about this little car buzzing around the circuit. And I was like, dude, what is this? What is this? I had seen hot version and everything. I played all the video games. I had played Initial D, the video game, but never really looked at it and been like, it's attractive. I had never seen Initial D. I didn't know it was an anime. We had seen Yu Yu Hakusho and other things on Toonami, but Initial D wasn't something that was so mainstream where it was in your face like it is now. They got Snapchat apps now. They got, like filters now. Did you guys see the thing with Arby's? Like, the car is popular culture. It's stuck. It's a meme.
Well, I guess now it is.
Yeah.
It wasn't always this way.
Right.
It wasn't always this way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. So I, had seen the video game, but I was like, bro, so I didn't read Japanese back then. I was like, that's the ugly box car. I was like, man, my brother and I, we used to be like, man, that thing's so slow. And it wasn't until I had seen it really depicted well in art by people that had lived and really built their careers off of the car and took it seriously. And when I was exposed to that through Hot Version and Best Motoring and Drift Tengoku, dude, like Battle Magazine, bro, all these old publishers that were just raw. They're just hard, and the scene of it, and it was just the most exciting car. Yeah. Out of all of the cars, I was like, because I used to want an S14, I used to want an EG Civic,
right?
But when I saw the Corolla, I was like, like that thing's so hot, like, that stupid little car, dude. Just it's so raw. Sure, yeah. And the more I learned about it, and like it totally emanated everything that it like produced, like everything in those videos, like everybody was like, yeah, bro, it's raw, So I was like, oh, sick. And now like learning Japanese for it and like getting a world-class education, like it's absolutely insane to think that this car really brought so much light to my life, because I feel like I saved the car. It was originally at the junkyard. Some dude bought it. Someone named Anthony Parco that I recently found out when I came back from Japan. And another Anthony told me at a First Friday meet, and he was saying, "You bought the car off of Anthony, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "So you picked it up after he drove it home from Pick and Pull and swapped out the rear end?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." And it was from Moss Landing Pick and Pull. Yeah. Shout out Moss Landing. They just had a red 86 that Ibarra picked up. Pretty rad. Definitely an interesting place to see GTS hatchbacks just flowing through. Not often. It's the second one in like since 2014. So don't get excited, guys. Don't go and lurk that Pick and Pull.
Calling them.
Yeah, dude. It's not like that. But it was just interesting to see that again recently come up. And that car was like 3.5, dude. That was crazy. Because my car was $1,099.
Wow.
In 2014. That's what I'm saying. Like 2013, like $1,099. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, should I bring that up? I was like, because they know now. And I was thinking, we're talking about popular culture and the soft power that Japan exudes through the A86. So, what attracted me to it, dude? The sound, bro. Like, that shit sounds raw. The 4AG, there's nothing that sounds better, man, dude. The fact that it comes with, like, I didn't know anything about cars. I was like, LSD stock, cool. 5-speed only, sick. Must have been fun. Yeah. And at the time, it was the only car on my budget that could go to school, fill up with tools, pick up a chick, pick up your friend, go to the track, hit the hotel, drive to school on the same pair of tires the next day, fit everything in it, look sick, and have a bunch of aftermarket support. It was rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But
what did your parents say about the car? I'm curious about that.
so I was originally gonna buy one, and I was 16, and I were working at this go-karting place.
What?
So I was like just circuit all the time, just circuit, racing. And I wrote on my original resume that I wanted to be a D1 driver in my aspirations because it's my first job. I'm not going to be like, oh, dude, work experience, been out of work for 2 years. Like, some bullshit. No, dude, it's 15, bro. So I put on there that I wanted to be a D1 driver one day and like just do racing. And Joe, NX suspension driver, shout out Joe, doing great in the season. Fucking killing it. Joe was the manager at this go-karting place. He was a supervisor, and he read it. And he was like, "Oh, buddy, come here." He's like, "I got a 1J S300." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Really? You do drifting, bro?" He was like, "Yeah, you want to be D1 driver?" I was like, "Yeah, bro." And then,
IS 300.
yeah.
IS 300.
Is that what he had? IS 300?
Yeah,
No,
IS300. He had a 1JZ IS 300.
I heard S 300. I was
No,
like,
it's
what
a
kind of car is that?
No. SC 300, same family,
Yeah.
one less door, times 2.
One
Same number.
Okay, go ahead. So Joe was like, buddy,
So
come
this
work with
motherfucker
us.
Joe, congrats, dude. Killing in the 86 series. The 86 Cup series, is that what it is?
86 Drive Challenge.
Wow, that was terribly off. I am so sorry. I was butchered. So, it was just cool. And they had those initial D machines there at the go-karting
at the
place.
go-kart
Yeah,
place?
it was,
Like
dude,
the-
it's soft powers everywhere. It's like big popular culture, like catalyst. So, got hired there, and that's how I made my money to get the Corolla. And I was originally gonna buy this car that a dude named Wes Ong decided to say on Facebook. He made this post. He was like, "Hey everyone, and Jacob Gioffre, this car is for sale. It's a certified GTS swap," and I almost bought it. And I was originally gonna go and buy it, and I went to the bank, and my parents took my cash because they were like, "You're not buying this car."
Wow.
And I was like, "Wow, dude."
He's got no airbags, man.
Yeah, they're like, no, it wasn't that, dude. I just was not being very responsible at the time.
Wait, so the car Wes was selling, was that his personal?
It's not his car. It was a car that someone else was selling that he made a post about that
okay.
he wanted to advertise, and I don't know why he decided to tag me in it, but I was looking at the time and I felt humbled by it because it was cool.
So go ahead. Your parents took all your cash,
So I
and
took
then what
my
happened?
cash. So my parents, I went to the bank and I was like, damn. And my homies were there. Shout out Taylor. And bad times. Not good times in childhood, adolescence. Definitely needed a lot of personal development and thought.
But you got the 86 though.
So I was so glad that I didn't buy that piece of shit Rust Bucket SR5 converted 8.6 that probably didn't even run. Because you know what? I waited and got this car out of pick and pull named Sandy.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy my parents let me fucking get that other car because I like amended things and like it was January, it's New Year's, and I was like, so we're going to start off the New Year, right? Can I get my cash? Can I buy this car?
So
And
wait. So how did you redeem yourself that your parents were okay with you getting this?
I think I just got great grades. I stopped being a dick. I don't know. I was probably being a dick. You know how you are when you're like 15, 16, you think you're invincible, you think you're the hot shit. You're like, that's right, like I got my first pew. And you're like, I don't know, man, maybe some motherfuckers late. That wasn't me,
I thought
but
flexed
you know.
on him. You were like, Mom, Dad, I started a company.
Yeah.
It's called
No,
Shock and
no.
Mob.
That was when I was 20.
No.
That's when I was 20, bro. But you know, dude, hey, dude, that's not accurate about the pew. You know what I mean?
Why was it
That's-
more than one?
Yeah, it's 4. That's why I do patches, man. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, man, I was like really wanting an 8.6 because I just kept watching videos and like just kept, oh, dude, I played so much Forza Motorsport. That was another thing. I looked at the car and like I tried playing on Forza, dude. I taught my brother how to drive stick on Forza. Shout out Forza 4. Forza 4 was the only video game
Forza
that had
4
great
was good.
graphics and a clutch.
Yeah.
That
And it had
motherfucking clutch, dude.
Fujima Kaido too.
Yeah,
I
dude,
think.
Fujimi, my homies and I would just play hours, dude. Just honestly, man, I should upload those videos, dude. Press an F, give us a big fat F in the comments if you want me to upload the videos of me swinging it like 1 centimeter from the guardrail, like on every corner on Fujimi Kaido,
Forza?
dude. Yeah, on Forza. I bet you I still got that on my HDD. They got that hard drive. That shit was
So they don't have Fujima Kaido any
In the new
longer.
Forzas,
yeah,
bro.
New Forza.
We don't
And
play it
Toyota's
anymore.
not there anymore either.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't even
So-
play video games and I'm angered.
Yeah.
I don't even spend my time like that anymore. And it's like, put Toyota in there. They deserve it. We love Toyota.
Yeah.
So, I bought the car on January 3rd.
Oh, you still remember the day?
Yeah, of course. That's the anniversary. That's
Wow,
when
I don't
things
remember.
change.
I don't-
90th anniversary, man.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
January 3rd. It's like 2 days after New Year's.
I
It's
don't-
fresh, man. That's like a new year.
Yeah.
You know, there's like cold in the air. Cali doesn't snow sometimes. Climate crisis, guys. It's real. So,
So how do you define your? I mean, are you a broker? Is that like
hell
what you-
yeah, I'm a broker, dude. I'm
Yeah.
many things, though.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more of an agent because, like I did when I. So, on Ezekiel's Impulse Kit, I was totally a motherfucking agent. Straight up got hit up, straight up said, hey, here's an exclusive product that I have interest in.
Yeah.
Can you please go over with urgency to check out the produce? And I said, yes, I would I'd rather, yeah, dude, I oblige. Let's go. So I picked up my skateboard and I went.
Hold on. You told the story on the Impulse Kid
Oh,
episode,
yeah.
but it went a little bit different.
So-
Because I have to apologize again because I messaged this guy at the last minute.
Yeah.
Like he was about to go home back to the U.S.
I had a week,
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
but that was a crazy week.
and
Shit was
then,
crazy.
like
Yeah.
I remember in my mind like I don't want to bother this guy while he's in school like
Yeah.
everyone else was. I want to
Yeah.
like respect his time. Like you need to do good in school, man.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, I was like, oh Jesus, like I really want this kit. So I messaged
Dude,
Jacob,
what
and
a
he
kit.
and Jacob like messaged me. You know, he doesn't type like one message, just like 5 different little
Yeah.
messages.
Hell yeah.
And
2019.
He does, man.
And
he does.
and he was like, I forgot what he said, but he was like, bro, I'm almost going home. The container ship, like da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, like a little bit. Wait a couple hours, I
Yeah.
get this message like, hey, they said it's okay to come. I'm gonna ride my skateboard there.
Well, the only reason why is because, dude, it's very, very, very courteous to give Japanese people time to prep. You know, because I couldn't believe they messaged me back and said, yeah, we have the table ready for you laid out. The car is on the lift.
Yeah.
If you would like
Yeah,
to
'cause you
come
get to go in and
view the entire kit in person.
Okay, so that's really
installed
important.
on a running car.
Right.
So,
Like,
dude,
yeah, ahead of time for respectful to let them prep ahead of time. That's very.
because
That's a very
ultimately
good point.
that reflects me.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
it makes me seem like I'm someone's bitch running over to go see a product to make a sale, and
Exactly,
that's not the
yeah.
way I run my service.
Yeah.
And you really have to respect people's time, and you really have to treat everyone well. Because if I was going to have an exemplary product, like a custom in-house milled 6-speed transmission kit that was worth more than I paid for my car, I would definitely say, yeah, dude, let me have like a spit shined model for you right here. Let me have like all the spec sheet. Let me have all the data, dude, because they do get scientific, and that's why I really respect it. And it's a craft, man. Like
I was gonna say car on the lift with the kit already installed for you to look
running
at.
Yeah.
a running
Yeah.
car, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you another business. I mean, except for maybe Shot. You know, like I got all the parts on the catalog for the car. Like we got mats in there, we got the monsoons, dude. We got another hood there. Everything's OEM, so it's kind of easy to do that. But this was custom.
Yeah.
This is a new product. It wasn't on their website. You showed me the website link. Was
Yeah,
it
it was-
crude? What was it?
No, it was their Impulse
was there?
website. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did it say? Did it say ask? We could look it up. Hey,
No,
Joe,
no.
where's the Joe Rogan product? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah.
What's it called? It was on their website. It had a price, but it had like promotional, like special sale price or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it was like I used Google Translate, but it's still like not
Yeah.
clear, right? Because it would be like
Hell no.
like bill
You're
housing
Translate not
processing.
proficient?
Like what is
Right.
bill housing processing?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because they wouldn't let you take pictures, right?
So
when
they
you were there?
actually just DM'd me about that. So the other day I was sleeping, and then I woke up just because broker lifestyle. I woke up at like 3 a.m. Check my auctions. 3 a.m. Like see who messaged me from wherever, and it's just a habit now because my parents still make fun of me. They're like, "You're still in Japan time. Like, you never sleep," and it's like, bro, just let me do my thing.
You call your parents bro?
No, I don't say like bro, but like in your mind, you know, you're like my dude. Like I'm doing my thing. Like you know, I'll sneak downstairs, go on my laptop, like
Yeah.
pet my cat, like just. It's interesting being back home and not living alone because, dude, living alone, ultimate freedom, like just stacking 24/7, dude.
Okay.
Just like
Go ahead. So you got the message at 3 a.m.
so I get the message at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and or maybe it was like 11. It was sometime at night. Everybody, you know, it's a school night.
Yeah.
I think it was 11 p.m. ish, maybe 11:43, or like the conversation had gone on. But it's from Tajima-san,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Hey, dude, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm pretty chilling."
Yeah, that's
And-
the Tajima-san's the boss of Impulse, by
Yes,
the way.
yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
So
well, for-
he's not even the guy I talked to. So Tajima-san's like the real boss of Impulse.
yeah, Tajima-san is an N1 racing champion as well.
Yeah.
He is severely known for his butt dynos. He's revered. He knows the car so well by the feeling through the chassis on his body. everybody like he's looked at, and he's fast, dude. He's really, really fast. And to be honest, it's kind of badass to be like, hey, dude, what's up? You know, to Jima-san. But it's cool because you get the relationship. You know, I've helped them out at Tokyo Auto Salon. I like to translate. It's big fun. And I get the ping, and I'm like, what's up? And he was like, hey, bro, your homie from Canada's here. And I was like, oh, sick. And it was Chewy. Shout out Chewy86. I don't remember his IG handle, but that's what it sounds like. And he was like, hey, bro, can you translate this processing? It was something with bell housing processing and how it would take some time to mill. Because think about, dude, that's what it means. Bell housing processing. You got to run that metal. It's just a block. They're like, it's processing. You know, they're like that's literally what they mean. Like, they're making it. It's real art. And it's really interesting to see them prepare that.
So Chewy's trying to get that kit too?
Yeah. A lot of motherfuckers. I don't know. I ain't going to say
trying,
Chewy's
or he did bought it?
I don't know, bro.
Because, you know, only one person stepped up and bought it, right?
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, shit, bro.
I think I know who that is.
I don't know how that story started, but yeah. So long story short, I love to help out, and I'm basically an agent. I would like to definitely move more into importing cars. I think that's pretty cool. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna move there. And, you know, like, to bring all this stuff over. Sometimes I wish with my previous container, I was like, man, I should have just left it all there. And it's hard to do that because, you know, I have more money on shipping in my car and the parts that I have on it than some people do in their whole setup. And I'm not trying to flex on that and be like, hey, bro, like, you spend a lot of money on shipping. It's just comes with the name of the game. A lot of these guys understand it, and there's a lot more time in finding parts, and I think it's just cooler to keep it there sometimes. And it's just be like, yeah, dude, this ETC scanner, ETC card, that shit works. You know, that shit is like, it works there. Or a lot of people will bring stuff over, and it's just, why are you bringing that to America? It's not domestic. It don't really work here. You know, I don't know what your conditions are, but it's interesting to see the gap.
One thing that I really appreciate, like, on the business side that Jacob does, you can talk about how, like you talked about with the 25-year rule, how importing these, like, specialty vehicles has been more popular, right? So on one side of it, you can think of it as, like, you know, importing parts, importing vehicle as like a saturated market, right? Yeah. But as Jacob has shown, it's actually not. Right. Like, if you can create like a special niche for yourself, like, you know, so one of the things that made me say, like, you know, Jacob's the only person I want to deal with. So when we did the Impulse Kit deal, he Facebook, how do you say it? Facebook Live? Is that how
I FaceTimed you.
Yeah.
Through Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook, like,
it's
video.
like FaceTime.
So FaceTimed me from Impulse.
They said no video.
Yeah.
They said no video, no photos. And then I was like, hey, bro, can I take a video after we'd been talking for 20 minutes, like an hour? You know what I mean? Then like, you know, he brought me a water, and they came out with the Impulse fan that I got to keep. And after all of that, and after he knew that we were serious buyers, and, like, not to say that he didn't think we were serious, but we came over on a whim. Yeah. That's why you had to mention that earlier. Is like, dude, that wasn't set up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They were lucky because I had built a relationship with them prior, and we all love each other. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, I see these guys at the track. I'm gonna see them sometime. Dude, you can run.
Well, I didn't know that. You know, I didn't even know you knew them.
It's hard, bro. But I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love them. You know what I mean? Like, it's really good, dude. It brings me such fulfillment and such pleasure to be able to be like, yes, dude. Tajima-san, yeah, dude. 11 p.m. What's up? Yeah.
So that's the key. Is like, Jacob FaceTimed me in real time and was like, and FaceTimed me with the Kado-san of Impulse. He's the one who has like a working proficiency of English. And shout out to him again. Like, he actively emailed me like, hey, we're running late, but here's why. I just want to tell you, like, this is what's going on. And actively emailed me. And same thing with Jacob. Like, when Jacob was like, hey, they're gonna send you a what's it called, like, PayPal invoice, or like, hey, they're gonna do this, like, Jacob, and he sent me like a picture of the paper invoice over there. He helped me along the way, and I was like,
I translated that invoice by hand for English for you. You know, because I can't send him an invoice that's like, like,
like 45 whatever yen, like, okay, you know, like, what am I, 45 yen for what?
For like, you know, and all the little things that you can't read that. I'm not gonna say that you can't read it because you haven't studied or anything. It's like, bro, car Japanese. It's the same thing as like picking up someone that has no interest in this.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a different language to them,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like this is literally Japanese versus English. Like, I have to do that professionally. Like, if you can't read it, if you can't agree to it, consent is everything.
Yeah.
So
the biggest thing for me was like the personalized level of service, like going above and beyond, like actually going to impulse on your skateboard.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then also following through on what you say you would do, even like going at doing stuff that I didn't even expect you to do. That's, you know, exactly why, like carving out a niche for yourself in this space where other people might think like it's saturated already. I'm not even going to try.
For sure. No, so I think kind of going on that point too, you know, so I got my car, it still had the, you know, USDM bumpers and everything, original GTS. And the guy I bought it from, his name is Christian Rogos, and we went to Toyota
Shout
Fest.
out Christian.
Hold on. So this is Corolla number 4. We're
This
talking
is
about
number 4.
Okay.
So number
Number 4
so
story.
current
Yeah, the current one.
car.
Okay, so number
Toast.
4, toast number 4. So number 4 I found on Craigslist of all places. Like I was using like all Craigslist or something where you can like search. Have you seen that before? It's like Search Tempest.
Yeah.
You can, like, search all-
Auto
search all-
Tempest.
Yeah, Auto Tempest.
Yeah.
So I found this 85 Corolla in the state of Washington, and it was 7,500. This is 2 years ago, and I was like, man, it seems kind of steep, but it's clean.
GTS?
GTS, yeah.
It's
Still
interesting. Does it still have the black moldings?
85. So yeah, still has, dude, it had everything. I mean, pretty original. The only thing that kind of drove me a little crazy about the car was like it had originally been like that grayish blue interior. It had like the blue dash, you know, but it had been like Christian who had it. He had like a coupe or like another hatch that they were gonna like, you know, scrap, and they took all the black interior out of that and put it in this car because I guess the dash was cracked too. So it has a fresh, clean, no cracked dash on it, which is money. But it looks good. I mean, like the door panels still have like the gray, and like the rear, I guess like quarter panels, whatever, are like gray as well. But it's got like some like early '90s Recaros in it. So it looks pretty awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's I paid $7,500 for it, and I paid $1,000 to have it shipped. And some people are like, "Oh my gosh, like that's so much money." But like I don't know, man. Again, like so in 2013, I leased like a brand new Evo. I loved it. I thought it was like just the coolest car. Like again, ever since playing on Gran Turismo 1, I'm like, Lancer Evolution, what is this?
Yeah.
Why would you get any other
dude? Oh my gosh. Okay, so Jackie Chan has a movie called Who Am I? Have you seen that?
Is that the one where he has the container and he's pulling all the new parts out and it's a yellow Evo and he's a racing driver?
How do you know this movie? What the fuck?
Dude, yeah, like he gets dropped.
Hot,
Dude, it's so
he's
good.
like shifting
I think it's
with the
subtitled.
transmission next to him.
So yeah,
I've
anyways,
opened a crate like that. Feels are real, bro.
It's like an
That shit's
Evo.
hot.
It's like an Evo 3 or 4. I'm not
Wow.
even sure. I saw it in like the 90s maybe. Anyways, always loved Evos. So owned a ton of different cars, 2 motorcycles, and just nothing ever gave me the feeling that a Corolla gives me.
Bingo.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just that passion, man. That's why I'm here.
what a feeling.
That's why I'm excited to be here. It's a privilege and an honor to be here with you, by the way. This is like legend. This is like legend status right here.
Oh.
Okay, so I got my car. The guy I bought it from, Christian, was like, "Hey, you got to reach out to this Jacob fellow." So I reached out to Jacob, Jacmob, and immediately I'm like everyone else, right? Oh, like Zenki parts working. Like my car's originally Zenki. I want to keep it Zenki. Like,
Props.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people keeping it
Jacob's
correct.
like, I got a guy. I don't know if he'll sell it or not. So that was like the first thing. He was transparent.
Well,
from
what
the
did you
get-go.
want?
I wanted a rear bumper.
What did you want? So
Rear bumper.
You messaged Shock and you're
Yeah.
like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
And I get this question pretty often.
Yeah. He was like, "Do you have how deep are your pockets?"
No, I
'Cause
didn't
you about
say
to-
that,
about to
bro.
get it
I
for a
said, "Hey,
Zenki rear
dude,
bumper."
what do you want?" Because a lot of people are saying, "Hey, dude, I want a rear bumper,"
Yeah.
or "Hey, dude, I want a front bumper," and it's like, "Well, I can order you a brand new Koki rear bumper today if
Right.
you want it."
Right.
But I'm a huge advocate of being period correct, and if you're a Zenki car, I can find you a new
Right.
Zenki rear bumper, but
Yeah.
it's been discontinued for a great number of
Yeah.
years, probably more than half of my lifespan.
Yeah.
So I can give you a quote on it,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to let you know that it's not gonna be what you might expect.
Yeah.
And the bumper was $1,400.
Yeah.
But it was a brand new Zenki bumper.
Yeah. Hanging up in
And-
a garage.
Yeah.
Like one of your
Which
buddies.
actually isn't that bad considering bumpers out here go for
know.
$1,400
It's
for
crazy,
for like
yeah.
a beat up bumper.
Beat ones,
Yeah.
but this is brand new with
Yeah.
Toyota stickers on
Yeah.
it.
Dude,
And-
so. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so Brandon goes, "Hey, dude, I want it." And a lot of people say they want it, and I really felt like Brandon was like, "Hey, dude," he kept pressing to pay, and I don't really like to get paid until
Not
the
true.
job is done.
Until the job
is
is
true.
done.
Until the job
Until
is
the
done,
job is
right?
done.
And
No,
I
that's
don't like
true,
to
that's
dream
true.
about getting paid. Like, nah, dude, that's song. But dude, you have to really provide a service that you can stand by. And honestly, like, yes, you need a deposit if you're gonna put a bid in on Yahoo, of course. That's just you. I don't want to get stuck with items. That's a liability that I have to take if I'm not. I mean, you can't cut anyone slack like that. It's yes, dude, deposit. But for items that, I mean, if you really, really, really want to like reach out, and I know you, and the build is substantial, and you want a brand new Zenki bumper, like, bro, it can be had.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. And I said, yeah, dude, let's do the Zenki bumper. And I found brand new Toyota wrapping for it.
Is that what you bought brand new?
Yeah.
In the wrapping? Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
Crazy. For sure. Yeah, like I got that in the mail and I was like, okay, so it brings us to another topic, which we'll get to in a minute. But
Yeah.
because I've listened to all your podcasts except for the latest one, and it's like this topic of like resto mod comes up a lot.
yeah.
I mean, think about this.
Of course it
okay?
does.
Just think about this for a second.
It's hard to do a proper
Dude,
mod
think
because
about
the
this.
information's not there.
Hold on. Hold that thought. So resto mod, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Because
What's
I
a
really,
resto mod?
I really got to use the bathroom.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
all.
use the bathroom, dude.
Pause this.
Yeah, you guys want to take 5? Hold on.
Yeah, dude. Oh, you drunk, dude? You're knocking down bottles, gotta pee. The resto mod, dude.